On the streets and here on the Trending Now segment, we do our best to bring you trending stories on a daily basis that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today in the Yoruba Kingdom, where it is official, Ibadan is getting a new king. Come Friday, September 26th, the former Oyo State Governor, Rashidi Ladoja, will be crowned the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land at Mapo Hall. Now, the Oni of Ife, Oba Enitan Ogunsi, already paid him a courtesy visit on Sunday, and a star-studded guest list is shaping up. President Bola Tinubu, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and Rabiu Kwankwaso are all expected to attend this coronation, and security is also top of mind. Apparently, at least 2,000 personnel from the police, civil defense, and Amotekun will be on ground to ensure that there's peace. But for many, this isn't just about a new traditional ruler. It's about history coming full circle. I mean, Ladoja was once a governor and a senator, and he now takes on the revered throne of Ibadan land. In increasingly modern times, it's important that we preserve the culture and the tradition that makes us Nigerian. Let's take a look at social media. This is big news. Balogun Vuitton says, political history is always sweet at times, Sha. History, if I'm not mistaken, when the Governor Wolu was impeached back then, PBAT and team came to rescue and his mandate was reclaimed back. When the 2022 PBAT campaign got to Oyo State, I remember PBAT visiting Oba Wolu at his abode. Both were sharing hugs and making his ambition known to him. Now, PBAT will be in Ibadan to wish an old-time political buddy and friend a hearty congratulations. Indeed, it is a full circle moment. I'll take one more tweet. Simple G says, the only non-controversial throne is the Olubadan. They know who's to be king even after Ladoja. Now, Elder's throne, you can't use juju or money to influence your way there. Team, this is very, very interesting. Aside from preserving culture and preserving, what makes us truly Nigerian, our tribal integrity. In recent times, we've seen traditional rulers, I'm not going to name any names, come to blows. And I think, do you think the Olubadan is ever going to engage in such, or is that throne truly above the rest?
The Olubadan should be named in the same sentence with stuff like that. But it's a hearty congratulations to him. It shows that he was destined to lead, whether politically or traditionally. He was destined to lead from senator to governor and now to the monarch of one of the oldest thrones in Africa, not just in Nigeria. So it's a big congratulations to him.
I'll pick him from the fact that he was destined to lead. And with him, there's not been any bad press, if I'm correct. He's had a very, very good, life from everything that he has done. We've seen how accountable that he has been. So all I can say is a big congratulations to him. And there's no fight when it comes to our monarchs. We don't want to see that. All we want to see is peace and tranquility. Absolutely.
And of course, we're stepping into this position right now. I believe that, going forward, even more from what he has done is definitely going to be seen. And of course, hearty congratulations. We're definitely looking and cheering you on, and definitely, we definitely are looking forward to everything you're going to do, because we know it's nothing short of amazing.
Absolutely. And that reminds me of a whole lot of things and experiences that I had with him. I remember my days while I was in Ibadan radio, invited him like 3-4 times, on my show. And then sometime he would say, whenever he saw me, he would say, I would say, executioner. Oh, sorry, sir, what did you mean? He would say, Lori, meaning that because of my adversarial style of journalism, back then in the day. So I'm so much happy and congratulating him, for ascending this throne. And then he also recognized the Okolomo Odua while the Oni was sitting beside him. Remember the controversy between him, between Oni and that of Alaafin Oyo. We say congratulations to you all the same. And then Ibadan, of course, is receiving someone greater, when it comes to that throne.
Absolutely. Our kings must remember that when they engage in fights, their crowns fall off.
Exactly. You want to genuflect?
Let's move on. Now, if you grew up anywhere from Abidjan to Accra, you know this bag. They're going to display this bag for me right now. Woven plastic, red, white, blue checks. It's foldable enough to slip under a bed, but it's also expandable enough to carry your entire life inside. In South Africa, it's got lots of names, Mashangane bag. But across West Africa, we call it one name. We call it a Ghana must go. That phrase isn't random though. In 1983, hundreds of thousands of undocumented Ghanaians were expelled from Nigeria. With just hours to pack, families shoved everything they owned into these cheap market bags. And the bag eventually became a symbol of migration, of displacement, and of resilience. But fast forward to today, Louis Vuitton's version of this bag is now priced at the jaw-dropping $3,000, and a lot of people are not impressed, of course, especially Africans. On On TikTok and X, users are pointing out the irony that this bag that once carried hardship and survival is now being paraded as luxury with no credit to its cultural roots. And it's prompting the question of why big brands like Louis Vuitton should profit from African stories and struggle. This is not the first time we've seen African trauma repackaged and sold. But what do I know? Let's take a look at social media. I'll take 2 tweets. Just Jerry says, "You go carry this bag, enter Danfo, conductor go still shout, Madam shift a bag." And Adedakwa says, "I get it now when they say these people will tell our stories if we don't start telling them ourselves." Team, this is very interesting. It's important that we give credit where credit is due. I know we constantly have the discussion about cultural appropriation, but it's not the first time that we're seeing this. I mean, we've seen cornrows that were actually slaves would hide food inside their cornrows, you know, to protect themselves on the long the trip of the transatlantic slave trade. And now it's a style for white people to wear and rock, and it's trendy. We're seeing this now with the Louis Vuitton bag that is traumatic for a lot of black people, especially Ghanaians.
Look, I tell Louis Vuitton, leave our bag alone. Huh? We like it as Ghana must go. We like it the way it is right now. $3,000 for that thing. Come on, man. This is ours.
We do not even like it as Ghana must go. First of all, you know, it brings back...
Actually, Ghana must stay this time.
It brings back a lot of trauma, actually. When I saw the news, I'm like, and I say it all the time, if we do not tell our stories, they'll tell it for us the wrong way. Louis Vuitton, this is not the very best. Nobody's going to buy this bag. And even in Ghana, you know, there are ways that we thought about, even we changing the name of this bag. You cannot have a bag, Ghana must go. Ghana must go where? At the end of the day, we are just one African country. So I hate the fact that these high-end brands will come, steal ideas, and now, because they are the name Louis Vuitton, they think that everybody will buy it. No, people will not buy it. People will not buy this particular bag because it just brings back a lot of trauma, which is not the very best.
Very true, very true. But then again, I'm hearing you say people will not buy it. I put that.
Maybe the whites will buy it, actually.
Exactly my point. So now I think the same thing I'm going to literally butter on the fact that if we don't tell our stories, they will tell the stories for us. And they might tell it in a way that we don't like it. Do you understand? Now, this is a fashion trend. I think this is trivializing the history that definitely goes around that particular bag. And the truth is that I think it's something that we also do as Nigerians, as Africans sometimes. We definitely undervalue what we have in here. For instance, look about our textiles, our Ankaras, our natural fabrics. Do you understand? I remember once upon a time it was seen as somewhat shameful if you actually show up looking in that outfit. The same thing with cornrows and braided hairs and things like that. Until, the Westerners came in, took these things and definitely imported them back to us. Do you understand? So my point is we need to appreciate ourselves more, and then of course and when we do that, the world can celebrate us the way we want to be celebrated.
Absolutely. So it's out of place to say that no one is going to buy it because one thing is who patented it when it happened in Africa, because that's one thing. To whom do we give the credit of copyright or the one who owns it right from the onset? So one thing is, the only thing that is very funny to me here is how mundane things become something very, very expensive. Look at Labubu, for instance, and the craze, and then you just wonder how people rush for it. Yes. So one thing is, let's begin to love our own, appreciate our own, and always ensure that we patent anything that originates from Africa. That's to say, whatever is our culture, we give it the credit. We give it the name, and anyone who wants to use it must give us the credit. But we do that, we have to do it legally, not by saying that things cannot work. No, it will if we don't do it the right way.
Right, Olamide, let me just say something quickly. So what I mean is that no black person will go and buy this bag. First of all, we look at the amount that they're selling the bag when you can get it for a way cheaper price. So maybe they have their target audience, but Ibrahim might tell you no black person will buy this bag
when
for
that craze
amount.
gets to the apogee, I won't be surprised when you carry Ghana must go into this.
Absolutely. I will say though, team, fun fact, the bag actually originated in Tokyo during the plastic boom, but it was the African story that gave it a place in history. Just saying. Let's
and they will tell you it's
we're changing the name from Ghana must go.
Ghana must go.
We're changing the name from that black.
Moving on in international news, a bit of somber news here. We're at a packed memorial in Glendale, Arizona. Erica Kirk, the widow of the slain conservative youth organizer Charlie Kirk, delivered a stirring message of forgiveness, addressing thousands inside the State Farm Stadium. She said that she forgives the man who was accused of killing her husband, and the crowd responded with a standing ovation. Take a look at this strong, brave woman.
That man, that young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie...
Now, prosecutors say that 22-year-old Tyler Robinson fatally shot Charlie Kirk on September 10th at Utah Valley University. Robinson allegedly texted his girlfriend that he'd had enough of Kirk's hatred, and he now faces charges that could carry the death penalty. In this emotional moment, you saw that earlier on, Erica Kirk revealed that she'd been asked if she wanted that sentence pursued, the death sentence. Instead, she's vowed to forgive him and carry on her husband's legacy, stepping in as the new leader of the conservative movement that he founded, the Turning Point USA. This is not a woman who is just being emotional. This is a political statement. Charlie Kirk was a staunch Christian. He stood for forgiveness and Christ-like values. This is a political statement if I ever saw one. It takes a brave woman to do this. But let's take a look at what you had to say. Xmas wax on flax on, okay, says, this is beautiful. And if you can't see a widow clearly still grieving, fight through her pain and anger and reach for forgiveness and appreciate this most incredible display of human spirit, then you need professional help. Whether she's at the left or right, Erica Kirk's words should touch us all. And Emmeline says that level of forgiveness is powerful, but it doesn't erase the need for justice and accountability. I'm coming to you now very quickly, team. Shortly after Erica's statement that you just watched, President Trump got on stage and he said, I'm not like Erica Kirk. I don't forgive my opponents. I don't forgive those who have offended me. And he plans on pursuing the death penalty for the young man who assassinated Charlie Kirk. We have two schools of thoughts here.
Well, the second man just showed that he is smaller than Erica. It takes a big person to forgive. Forgiveness is one of the hardest things to do. You know, no wonder my people say if you throw a man down and you want the man to stay down, you have to be down there with the man. Forgiveness is the biggest thing that you can think of. And if you are capable of forgiving, then you're a big person.
Well, you know, Donald Trump will always be Donald Trump, so I wasn't surprised when he said that. But I would say that I love her courage. You know, I love the fact that she's very bold to come out to speak. Losing someone is not a joke, and looking at how he died, it's just sad that I tell people that never take, you know, authorities into your hands. You may not like the person, but to go ahead and, you know, kill the person is not the very best. I just pray that she continues to remain strong, and I'm happy about the fact that she says she has forgiven, because at the end of the day, God forgives us each and every day.
Yes, very true. And I watched this speech yesterday, and it was really, really sad. You could literally hear the passion and pain in her voice. And of course, when she actually said, I forgive him, it was strong. However, when she actually switched to speak about stepping into the shoes of her husband and literally continuing his legacy, it was amazing. Because, I mean, you could tell her strength at that point. I think the phrase that came to mind was, hell hath no fury than a woman scorned. Because now the passion she's going to use to drive this message is definitely going to be as unheard of. So, I mean, may soul rest in peace, and all my condolences to her and her family.
To err is human, to forgive is divine, they say. It's okay that the wife of Charlie Kirk has forgiven the perpetrator, the killer, but when Charlie Kirk meets the killer, if the killer one way or the other, when they find themselves, you know, right in front of God, they will decide whether that act of forgiving is done or not. But the thing is, it brings to us to the fore what is going on in America. If someone of that age could carry a gun, you know, fire someone, you know, the sniper way, the execution style, and then, you know, having gun violence, they are still debating, you know, over whether we should be carrying gun or not in America. We can see what is happening. Imagine killing someone as prominent as Charlie Kirk. It's a serious thing, and we need to look beyond the killing of Charlie Kirk. A whole lot of people that have been killed every day, day in, day out in America, because I do not want a country where people will just walk in and then someone will come from anywhere and say, because I'm pissed off, I'm angry at you, and the next thing is you shoot the person or you know, one way or the other. So we say my condolences to the family of
Absolutely. There was a school of thought that was saying that this was a weak move by her. If you ask me, this is soft power. Her movement has just gained even more momentum than it did when Charlie Kirk was still alive. Thank you so much, team.